And, you know, Colorado's coming off an 18-point win against Oregon. Played them twice last year, didn't beat them either time. So this is it's a big game for us tomorrow night. Obviously, then with Utah coming in on Saturday. But guys are in good spirits. We did get a split on the last road trip. Thought we did a lot of good things at Washington State to win that game pretty handily. And then we did some really good things against Washington, but obviously not enough good things in that loss there. So, but again, we had a really good practice yesterday. Excited about the game tomorrow night against Colorado.
You've gone pretty much exclusively zone the last month or so. Do you foresee that continue to be the case, or would you consider mixing in man-to-man?
That's a good question. We've thought a lot about it. Right now, we just think we're better in the zone. Now, we've kind of played with it and tweaked it, and we played some 2-3, some 3-2, some 1-3-1. So we've done a variety of things with it, and then we're pressing and some kind of different presses back to those different zones. So we've done some different things, but we are considering maybe trying to sprinkle in a little man-to-man, although, Ben, in our man-to-man, we haven't been as effective. Statistically, if you look at our numbers, we've just been much better in in zone than we have in man.
Are you still kind of searching for ways to get David Singleton minutes, just because he seems like such a heady player when he's out there?
Totally agree. It's really difficult. We've got 11 guys in uniform, and we've really got a 10-man rotation, and it's not always easy to get all 10 of those guys quality minutes. But David is a guy that when we talk about, number one, he's our best shooter. He's our best spot-up shooter on our team. And plus, in Pac-12 games, in 9 games, he's only had 3 turnovers. So he's very low risk, very smart, knows how to play, and can really make shots. So we are trying to get him more minutes, but there's other guys in that 10-man rotation I'm trying to get more minutes too. But we love David. He's smart. He can play at either the 1 or the 2. He can make shots, and again, he just doesn't turn it over much.
Would playing him beside Jalen maybe be one way to do that?
Yeah, and we've done that a good bit. I mean, if you look at his minutes in the 9 Pac-12 games, a lot of his minutes are at the 2 when Jalen's at the 1. So we've done that a pretty good bit in Pac-12 play.
You mentioned his low turnover numbers. What have you kind of talked to the team about in terms of cutting down turnovers after that Washington game?
How long do you have for me to answer that? That's just a real problem. If you really analyze our team right now and you really study it very carefully, we're defending fairly well. We're rebounding probably as good as any team in our league. So we're doing a lot of good things there. We are shooting the ball at 48% in the league, which is pretty darn good. But the turnovers have been a huge problem. And I guess what I'm leading to is with doing the other things the way we're doing them, if we could continue with that, but if we could cut the turnovers, we're averaging about 17 turnovers a game in Pac-12 play. If we could cut that to 12 or 13, it would be huge. But it's a problem, and each individual player if each guy could cut it a little bit, it would be a big help.
How much time are you spending on that right now in practice?
Well, we're spending a lot of time on trying to handle it better, make better decisions, passing, catching. Really, when you analyze our turnovers, we've got 156 turnovers in the 9 Pac-12 games. And if you study those very carefully, which we've done, about half of those are when a guy's got the ball and maybe on the move. So from a dribbling standpoint, maybe they're driving into too much traffic, running over a guy, traveling, and then the other half, or most of the other half, are on just passing the basketball, making good decisions when you've got the ball. So we've stressed it. We're going to continue to stress it. Again, it's a problem. And if the way we're defending, the way we're rebounding, the way we're shooting the ball, if we could cut turnovers from 17 to 12, maybe have 4 or 5 less a game, it'd be big. I mean, it would really help us.
Do you keep an internal track of how many of the turnovers are unforced versus forced, and if so, what's the ratio that you've seen?
I can't give you an exact number on that, but I mean, obviously we're playing good teams. If you look at our turnovers against Washington, they had a lot to do with the turnovers, but it's a good question. But I think a lot of them are forced, but certainly some are without question unforced.
From a coaching standpoint, how do you sort of balance telling your players to be aggressive but also take care of the ball?
We've spent about 2 hours up there talking about that today. It's a good question. You've been listening in on those conversations? No, we spent a lot of time on that because we want speed. We want to play with pace. We want to be aggressive. We don't want guys back on their heels, but we have to play aggressive, but we've got to play smart and efficient and sound. So there is a tricky balance there of I don't want guys tentative. I don't want to talk to them all the time about turnovers because I don't want them back on their heels. I want them aggressive. I want them trying to score 90 a game. We want them very, very aggressive. But at the same time, you've got to be aggressive, but you've got to be smart. You've got to be efficient, and you've got to keep turnovers down. But it's a good question because there is a balance there.
Colorado's had some injuries this year.
They have
a team that's better than their record.
Oh, I think they are. I mean, if you look at their last game, they lined up and just beat Oregon by 18. I don't think you've got to say too much to the guys that have been part of this program. We played them twice last year. We were 0-2 in those 2 games. So, you know, guys like Prince and Chris and Alex and guys that have been around here, they certainly remember those 2 games a year ago where we lost. So it's a good Colorado team. Tad's a great coach and does a great job with their team. So we'll just have to play well. You know, we played pretty well here in Pauley in Pac-12 play, so hopefully we can do that again tomorrow night.
All good?
All right.